Good morning, students. After completion of the theoretical part belongs to the unit number 4. From today's class onwards, we are going to be start the numerical problems belongs to the unit number 4. Yes, let us start from the first problem onwards. See the problem number 1. Consider the 3-phase 4-wire 240 volt secondary system with a balanced 3-phase loads at A, B, and C as shown. Determine the following. The first one is calculate the total voltage drop, or as it is sometimes called voltage regulation in one phase of the lateral by using the approximate method. This is the problem bit number 1. And the second one is calculate the real power per phase for each load. Calculate the reactive power per phase for each load. And the fourth one is calculate the total 3-phase kVA output and load power factor of the distribution transformer. This is the given problem. And he also suggested that the 3-phase 4-wire 240 volt secondary system with a balanced 3-phase loads at A, B, and C as shown. This is also given in the problem. Yes. So in this problem, a lateral is given. The lateral commenced from the distribution transformer onwards. So it is a distributor. It is a distributor. So at point A, the current is diverted as a 30 amperes at unity power factor, and you better to call it as instead of points by loads. At load A, load point A, 30 amperes current is diverted and unity power factor, and load B, it is the 20 amperes current is diverted and the power factor of 0.5, and at load C, 50 amperes current is diverted with a power factor of 0.9 lagging. So, and correspondingly each section length is also, each section impedance is also given. The first section, which is the 0.05 plus j 0.01 ohm per phase. So out of three phases, only one phase has to be considered into account, and one phase calculation has to be made here. And similarly, section AB having an impedance of 0.1 plus j 0.2 ohm per phase, and section BC having 0.05 plus j 0.05 ohm per phase. So this is the given problem. In this problem, you asked to calculate what is the total voltage drop of each section. What is the total voltage drop? Otherwise, voltage regulation by using approximate method. So approximate method, and similarly the real power per phase of each load, the reactive power per phase of each load, and also the apparent power output as well as the power factor we required for us. Yes. So in this problem, let us calculate the what is the voltage drop of each section initially. After that, it is the total voltage drop. We can proceed for the total voltage drop. So let us start from this. Starts with the solution of a first bit using the approximate voltage drop equation. Approximate voltage drop equation is already derived in case of the 3-phase balanced lines. So voltage drop is equal to, it is the I into R cos theta plus X sin theta. So you take the voltage drop of each load can be calculated as, see, at load point A, is it is the 30 into 30 is the current diverted, and the R 0.05 that particular section from the distribution transformer into cos theta is unity, and the X is 0.01 into per unity the sin theta is 0, which is equal to 1.5 volts. And similarly, at load point B, you can calculate the current diverted is 20 amperes, and it should be multiplied with the total impedance. You can add the cumulative impedance, the first section plus second section. Total impedance has to be added. Then only we will have this one. First section has 0.05 resistance, second one is 0.1 resistance. So you can add this resistance cumulatively so that it's 20 into 0.15 into 0.5 plus 0.03 into 0.8. So power factor is 0.5. Cos pi is 0.5, sin pi is 0.866, which is equal to 2.02 volts is the voltage drop at the load point B. Similarly, calculate the voltage drop at load point C, which is 50 amperes is the current, and you add all the cumulative resistances, so which is equal to 0.2 is the R, and power factor is 0.9 plus X is 0.08. Just you can add all the three impedances, and sin value is 0.9 is to be converted into sin value 0.436, which is equal to 10.744 volts is the third section drop. So that he asked to calculate the total drop of the feeder. So total drop of the feeder voltage drop summation VD is equal to, VD is the voltage drop, VDA plus VDB plus VDC, which is equal to the sum of the three drops, that is the 14.24264 volts. This is the bit number 1. And next you can go for this can be expressed in terms of the base voltage. This just divided by the drop is to be represented drop divided by the 240 base voltage, which is 0.0594 per unit. Per unit in the sense when the system measurements has a bulk value, so that you can express it in terms of the per unit basis. And you come to the second bit. Second bit is the per phase real power per each load can be calculated with the help of the P is equal to VI sin pi. Yes. So at load point A, B voltage is 240 volts and I is 30 and cos theta is unity. So it is 7.2 kilowatts. At load point B, I is 20 and power factor is 0.5. So it becomes 2.4 kilowatts. And at C, 240 into the magnitude of current is 50 in the power factor is 0.9, which is equal to 10.8 kilowatts. So therefore the total per phase real power is, which is equal to summation of P is equal to PA plus PB plus PC, which is equal to 7.2 plus 2.4 plus 10.8. It is the 20.4 kilowatts is the total real power per phase of a distributor. And similarly, you can calculate the reactive power. Is reactive power per phase per each load can be calculated from Q is equal to VI sin theta. So whatever may be the manner, real powers are to be calculated in the same power per unity power factor. The reactive power at the system at load point A is 0 because of cos pi is equal to 1, sin pi is equal to 0. It's the 0 kV. At load point B, it is the 240 into 20 into 0.866. So 0.5 can be converted into sin value. It becomes 0.866, which is the 4.156 kVAR is the value of the reactive power at load point B. And similarly, QC is equal to 2 into 50 is the current, and power factor 0.9 is to be converted into sin value. It's the 0.436, which is equal to 5.234 kVAR. So therefore, the total per phase reactive power is summation Q is equal to QA plus QB plus QC, which is equal to 0 plus 4.156 plus 5.232, which is 9.389 kVAR. Yes, and finally the fourth one is the per phase kVA output of the distribution transformer as well as power factor. These two are essential for us. In this regards, the per phase kVA output of the distribution transformer is real power. The per phase real power already you know. Apparent power once you can calculate. For the kVA output can be, kVA output is nothing but it is the apparent power, which is the real power, a combination of real and reactive powers. S is equal to square root of P square plus Q square, otherwise P square plus Q square whole power half. P, the per phase real power is 20.4 whole square plus per phase reactive power is 9.389 whole square whole power half. Therefore, the apparent power is equal to 22.457 kVA per phase. And the second one is, so this is the per phase. So the total 3-phase kVA output of the distribution transformer is 3 times of that 22.457, which is equal to 67.37 kVA. The total 3-phase kVA output is asked in the problem. But here we are calculating per phase, that should be multiplied with 3 times, we'll have a 67.37 kVA. And similarly the power factor, hence the load power factor of the distribution transformer. So we are having per phase real power, per phase reactive power. You can take the cos phi is the P by S, real power by apparent power. Real power already you are calculated, which is 20.4 divided by 22.457. In terms of it is the numerator is in terms of kilowatts, denominator is in terms of kVA. So therefore the cos phi, which is equal to 0.908 lagging. So this is the problem. In this problem there are 4 bits are given. First bit, total voltage drop in the feeder. Second bit, the real power per phase of each load, and so in third bit the reactive power per phase, and in fourth bit the kVA output as well as the total kVA output as well as the power factor is asked. This is the solution for problem number 1. So let us move for the next problem, which is so this problem belongs to the capacitors. Is a single phase 400 volts 50 H motor takes a supply current of 50 amperes at a power factor of 0.8 lakh. The motor power factor has been improved to unity by connecting a condenser in parallel. So calculate the capacity of the condenser required. So very simple problem. So initially the motor takes a supply current of 50 ampere at a power factor of 0.8 lakh. So all the voltages, frequency, phase, everything is given in the problem. But our intention is to enhance the power factor from 0.8 lakh to unity by connecting a condenser in parallel to the existing motor. So he asked to calculate the capacity of the condenser required. So very simple. So let us go here. So total current is kVA load. Yes, kVA current is 50 ampere. So let us calculate what's the active component of the motor current at 0.8 power factor. So active component of the motor current IA1, which is the motor current into cos phi. So 50 into 0.8, 40 amperes is the magnitude of current. And what's the reactive component of motor current? So it's the same power factor. The reactive component of the motor current IR1 is equal to motor current into sin phi. So which is equal to 50 into 0.8 is to be converted. Cos phi is 0.8. Sin phi is equal to 0.6. Is so here I am cos phi, I am sin phi. 50 into 0.6, which is equal to 30 amperes. So now this is the existing system. Into this we have to improve to unity. Is so active component of motor current yet improved power factor is same as that of the active component of motor current at power factor of 0.8 lag per a fixed. Why? Because 40 amperes, 40 is multiplied with 1, it should be a 40 unity power factor. So therefore what he is saying, the active component of motor current at improved power factor of unity is same as the active component of motor current at a power factor of 0.8 lag per a fixed load. Then the active component of motor current at unity power factor is the 40 amperes. And then reactive motor current at unity power factor is IR2. So this should be multiplied with cos phi is equal to 1, sin phi is 0. So 30 is to be multiplied with 0, which gives the 0. So therefore, reactive motor current to be neutralized. Reactive motor current to be neutralized that IC, that is IC is equal to IR1 minus IR2. So this current is to be neutralized to 0 so that the power factor is to be enhanced to 1. So IR1 minus IR2, which is equal to 30 minus 0, is the 30 amperes. Yes. So it is equal to IC is equal to V by XC. XC is equal to 1 by 2 pi FC. Therefore, this becomes the IC is equal to V into 2 pi FC. So IC is the 30 amperes and V is the 400 divided by 2 pi into 50 into C. So therefore, the C is equal to 238.73 microfarads. 238.73 microfarads. Therefore, the capacity of the capacitance connected across the motor terminals C is equal to 238.73 microfarads. So this is the problem number 2. What he asked exactly, calculate the capacity of the condenser required. The capacity of the condenser required across the motor terminals is 238.73 microfarads. Yes, students. So shall we move for the next problem, which is the problem number 3. Yes. A synchronous motor having a power consumption of 50 kilowatt is connected in parallel with a load of 200 kilowatt having a power factor of 0.8 lag. If the combined load has a power factor of 0.9, what's the value of leading reactive kVA supplied by the motor and at what power factor is it working? Yes. So initially 200 kilowatt load on the system with a 0.8 power factor lag. So to improve this power factor, a synchronous motor is connected which consumes a real power in addition to the 200 kilowatts. Additional 50 kilowatt is to be consumed, resulting the power factor is to be increased to 0.9. Are you getting my point or not? Initially 200 kilowatt is the load on the system with a power factor of 0.8 lag. So due to increasing the power, to improve the power factor, a synchronous condenser is connected. So our synchronous condenser or synchronous motor is connected. This consumes the 50 kilowatt additionally so that it injects the reactive power into the circuit so that the power factor is to be enhanced to 0.9. What is the value of leading reactive kVA? What is the value of leading reactive kVA supplied by the motor and at what power factor is it working? So this is the problem. Yes. So let the power factor angle of the motor you can consider in separately. It's the pi 1. And power factor angle of load, which is the cos pi 2. So cos inverse of 0.8, which is equal to 36.87 degrees. And what is the power factor of combined load? Combined in the sense, this one plus synchronous motor, 250. For combined load, it is 0.7. Pi is equal to cos inverse of 0.9, which is equal to 25.84 degrees. So calculate tan pi 2. Tan pi 2 is tan 36.87 is 0.75. And tan 25.84 is equal to 0.4842. And combined power is 200 plus 50, it is the 250 kilowatts. So total kVAR of combined system, which is equal to P into tan pi. So this is this equation will come with the Phasor diagram. So we will draw the Phasor diagram in the next problem. So take real power, reactive power and apparent power. So the pi is to be calculated from the impedance triangle. Pi is to be calculated, that is the Q. Q is to be calculated P into tan pi. P is the 250 and tan pi is the 0.4842, which is equal to 121.05 kVAR. And load kVAR is how much? Load kVAR is equal to, it is the P into tan pi, that is the 200 into 0.75, so which is equal to 150. So therefore, the load kVAR supplied by synchronous motor, load kVAR supplied by synchronous motor, which is equal to 150 minus 121.05, which is equal to 28.9. And what is the value of leading reactive kVA supplied by the motor? The leading kVA supplied by the motor is 28.95 kVAR, and also asked at what power factor it is functioning or working. The power factor angle of which the motor is working, phi1 is equal to, that is the leading kVAR. Leading phi is to be calculated, it is the reactive power by active power. So pi is equal to tan pi is, so phi1 is equal to tan inverse of 28.95 by 50. For synchronous motor, real power is 50, which is equal to 30.07 degrees. So you should convert it into the power factor. So cos phi1 is equal to cos 30.07 becomes 0.865 lead is. So this is about the power factor correction, and in next problem we are going to draw the phasor diagram and solve the problem. See.